Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis, and it is Tuesday, July the 16th. Good to have you with us, and quite honestly, good to be back on the air. It's been a little while. Benji Escobar is my co-host this morning. Good to see you, Benji.
Good to see you too, Todd. Where I'm glad to be back after what was it, like a week hiatus because of the hurricane. You know,
Yeah, we had, boy, that was just crazy stuff that happened, and a lot of folks around Houston, I think, close to several hundred thousand still without power
yeah,
right now. And we're going on what, 8 days after the hurricane? You lost
yeah.
power for a while, didn't you?
I lost power. I got power back on Saturday evening, so it was about 6 days of without power. So that was
Yeah,
tough.
and I had some leave I taken before we went into this hurricane. So, you go into the hurricane, and this happened to people across the city. I mean, people have lost their food, their refrigerator, you had to throw everything out. My problem was, Benji, and you'll probably get a kick out of this, is I forgot that I had 5 pounds of frozen shrimp in my freezer.
Mm, mm.
And I learned that I had 5 pounds of frozen shrimp when it started dripping out of said freezer. And when I opened it up, well, it took days to get that stench out of there.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
pretty bad. And I know you probably had to get rid of some stuff too, right?
Oh no, yeah. We cleaned out our whole refrigerator, which is, kind of sad because it's a lot of money, but
Yeah.
we'll recover. We'll make it through.
Yeah, and I know we were talking about this in our staff meeting yesterday, but folks, if you haven't looked, I believe FEMA does have some funding available, and I think it's only for people though that live within the Harris County area. I may be wrong on that, but I know if you go to the FEMA website, if you have hopefully you have internet, you can click on, and I think there's $750 available for storm damage and losses.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So did you apply for that yourself?
I did. So, here's my fingers crossed that they approve the assistance there.
Right. Well, we wish everybody the best. It's good to be back. Of course, HCC reopened. We were open last week at the district offices, but as far as classes, we resumed yesterday. So classes are in full swing. All the campuses are open. So we're just glad to be back after this devastating storm. Don't want to go through this again. But we have got a great show for you today. Tasty Tuesday's coming up. We also got another special guest joining us in a few moments. But we want to thank everyone watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. We are here just about every Monday through Friday, live at 10 a.m. when HCC is in session. And Benji, if they can't catch us live, you can always watch us in social media anytime. And we're also on HCCTV as well.
Yeah, we're on the Houston Community College District Facebook page, not HCC, but Houston Community College District. We're also on YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and like you said, rebroadcast of this show at noon, 5 and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday on our very own HCC TV channel.
That's right. Okay. I know it's Tasty Tuesday, and we've got a guest coming up later in the show, and you'll be talking with him. Andres Nova will be here. So we'll talk to him in just a few moments. But right now, we're going to kick things off with talking with one of our art history professors, Jeryn Mayer. She is getting ready for an unusual spring semester 2025. Jeryn, thank you for being here on the show. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
So tell us what you have coming up. I know it's hard to think. We're already talking about spring 2025.
We are.
Mentally, I'm still in 2023. Realistically, in 2022. But realistically, you've got something big happening. Tell us what's going to be happening with you in the spring of 2025.
Well, I was recently awarded a sabbatical for the spring in 2025. It's one of those great benefits that HCC gives to people who are longtime faculty members who go through a pretty rigorous application process. And I'm going to be using the time to continue with some of my research. My primary research focuses on the art impact of Belfast, Northern Ireland's 100-year history of political murals. So those murals are often thought of as like threatening or territorial. But what I'm finding is that their presence has actually provided a kind of fertile ground for a successful street art movement in the city. So I'm going to spend some more time in Belfast during this spring. I'm studying the impact of those political murals on the street art scene and learning from the artists who are working full-time as street artists. The sabbatical allows me to be in Belfast as much as possible as they plan a 12th annual street art festival. This is the largest one on the island of Ireland. It's called Hit the North. It has a street party and international artists who come from all over the world. We've got fun events, an art auction that raises money for social issues charities. It's a really successful community event that also supports artists. And a lot of those artists have a kind of similar background to a lot of our art students, our art department students. So they may be interested in some of the same social issues. They may be looking to find their own path within the visual arts, to find their own way of creating a career out of creating art. So I'm going to spend as much time as I can over there studying the way that these artists are making this work for themselves.
How long will you spend over there when you're researching this?
Well, in the last 2 years, I've been there, I think 5 or 6 times,
Right.
about, a week and a half or so at a time. When I go over in the spring, I'll go a couple times. I have, a family, I can't stay gone for too long. But their festival is during our semester. So I've never been able to go over for the actual festival. So I'll be able to go over for the actual festival, and I'll spend as much time as possible, usually about a week at a time.
Now, what are the local opportunities for HCC students who are interested in this type of art, and how can they get started? Do they reach out to you? Do they enroll in your classes? How does that work?
Well, there are definitely opportunities, and I see that there are going to be even more opportunities. Houston right now is the site of a really large mural project, and it's called Street Art for Mankind. You've probably seen them downtown. This is a big sort of, national organization that forges partnerships with businesses and government leaders, and they secure massive amounts of funding for murals in large spaces. They're bringing A-list mural artists, people who are already super famous. But what we see is that in public art, especially, art begets art. So if we have huge murals going up downtown, if we see that they're getting attention, then what happens is smaller organizations start to put out mural calls. We've already had a lot of students who have been successful in this, in public art calls or mural calls. So we've had them successfully submit proposals for competitions and that sort of thing. One of our most successful alums from the art department is Donkey Boy, who's become a kind of fixture. Yeah, he's been on your show.
Been on our show, yeah. Friend of the show.
He's a fixture in the Houston street art scene. So if our students are engaging in things like mural proposals, then they're getting their name out there. They're starting to see the possibilities of this public art as a career builder.
Well, it seems like, I've lived in Houston most of my life, and, you'd see murals in the past, and they weren't really murals. They were just, graffiti. But now, you can go across the city, and really it has just blossomed, it seems like. And has this movement started maybe in the last 10 years or so?
Well, it's an international trend. And some of it is born out of graffiti. The materials that people are using are similar to the materials that graffiti artists use. There are definitely graffiti artists who are, I would say, part of the training ground for street artists. They have the skill set, and they may be open to training. There's also some contention between graffiti artists and street artists, because street artists are getting paid for their work. So that's a dynamic that is present in most cities. But it is an international movement. And you see, like with Street Art for Mankind, those kinds of large kind of conglomerates that are putting together funds from a bunch of different sources.
And Jeryn, we've only got about a minute left, but I want to ask you real quickly, because you've got museum hours at the Lawndale Art Gallery. Is that correct?
Lawndale Art Center. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Because we'll have that information. I know we wanted to show that picture. And what are the hours there?
So what I do is I communicate with all of my students to say what works best for you. We usually meet on Thursdays, and it'll just be I'll be there. If everybody kind of thinks that 11 to 1 works, then I'll go from 11 to 1 and we'll see what we can see. I find that my students enjoy the kind of casual nature of these outings, getting to see work in a new space and that sort of thing. So by opening up these times at museum spaces around, especially around Central Campus,
Right.
students have a kind of profound art experience that feels a little bit more personal.
We're going to have all your information in our social media post. Jeryn Mayer, she's an art history professor here at HCC. Enjoy your trip over there. We look forward to seeing some pictures and hearing from you when you get back.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Now, it is Tasty Tuesday. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Benji is going to be joining us with one of our good friends out in the Fort Bend County area. So right now, we'll be back in 60 seconds.
When I grow up, I want to work in a lab to build robots.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me and then you just linked arms with me, I don't think you know how much like that helped me. I finally like knew that I had somebody.
We are back with Andres Novoa, owner and founder of La Cocina Mexican Restaurant in Fort Bend County. How are you doing today?
Doing wonderful.
Awesome. It's awesome to have you here.
Excited to be here with you guys.
Yeah, of course. We're always
Benjamin.
excited to have restaurants and people who make good food. So let's talk about a few things and then the topic of Hurricane Beryl. More than 2.5 million homes were without power after Hurricane Beryl, and lots of businesses, even like my parents were too. How did La Cocina fare during the hurricane?
Oh, well, we got affected, of course. You know, that was a big problem with the electricity. We managed to do all right because we had a generator. I think Todd would have benefited with that shrimp that he lost, you know. So the generator saved us and really allow us to serve people that were really in need to be served. You know, they were really hungry. They were desperate. So we had the opportunity to provide a safe product, you know, because of the generator. That's what saved the day. But otherwise, it would have been very, very bad for us, you know.
Yeah, of course.
That
And
made
so
it that good. So we survived. Once again, we're survivors over here. We're surviving anything.
yeah.
And we continue. It's like the little kitchen that could, you know, it's the little engine that could. Remember? So this La Cocina, this restaurant is like the little kitchen that could.
That could, right? Yeah.
Because we're not a big restaurant. We're a neighborhood restaurant, but we're doing big things. We're doing uncommon things, you know.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that you're pushing through there. And let me ask you also, how long have you been open since you lost power? And are you seeing your regulars come back in and then starting?
Oh yeah, they've been we only really lost one day. You know, we were operating because of the generator.
Okay.
So you know, we only lost one day because simply my employees couldn't get here. Due to that, they were also dealing with the electricity issue.
Of course.
So, you know, the customer are very, very grateful that we had the generator, and at the same time, things are back to normal, thank God, in this neck of the woods, okay?
Yeah. No,
Richmond,
you're not wrong about that.
Area.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. About me as an employee here, I wanted to come back into the building because there's no power at my home, and I would rather sit in AC, you know, and work at least. But I know I've heard that you're very heavily involved in the community there. Bring us up to date on what you've been doing last since we spoke to you in October.
Well, Meals on Wheels, Fort Bend Seniors is very dear to us, you know. It's close to our heart here at La Cocina. And we as a matter of fact, we had our 17th annual Cinco de Mayo bash, and 2 days ago, we handed a big check at the Constellation Field in Sugarland, with the
Wow.
Space Cowboys play.
Yeah.
And we handed a big check for $102,000. It's back there, the
Wow.
check somewhere. I don't know if you can see it from there, but we've been doing a good job with them. We've been helping them. It's been it's a great organization. It's a great cause, and we hold it close to our heart. So we have contributed more than almost $700,000. Since 17 years.
Yeah.
We're doing that. So I think we're doing the best we can to help. And at the same time, we help the schools. We help also our veterans. We provide any help we can here, with a small place, but I guess we are generous,
Yeah, of course. And I know, back on that topic again about the hurricane, so many people are stressed out from past week. If a customer wanted a comfort food dish off your menu, what would you recommend, and why would you recommend that plate?
Oh, wow, my God. Well, street tacos are world famous, okay?
Oh, really? Okay.
Street tacos is one of on Wednesdays, they're half price, so people really, really love them.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful. They like it. And of course, we got La Sirena, which is a chicken breast that is stuffed with baby shrimp, ranchera, Monterey Jack, and then it's stuffed with some mushroom sauce with cilantro and butter and wine. That is very popular, very famous. And our enchiladas, of course. We got enchilada day on Thursdays. We got a special $7.99 for a big plate of enchiladas. And part of the thing here is that we cook everything fresh, from the scratch. That's one of the good things that we differentiate, from how many Mexican restaurants around here? 1,000, 2,000? I don't know how many around here, But, so that's why we have to differentiate in some way, So the quality is one, and giving back to the community is another way. And being here 24 years also helps, since we opened in 2000.
Wow. So your restaurant's almost as old as me. I'm 25 years old, born in
I'm telling you, man,
1989.
you were a little kid when the first time your parents brought you here, probably.
Yeah. Well,
I
congratulations.
started in Rosenberg in 1997.
Yeah. So no, but congratulations on being open for 24 years. That's no small feat there. And I want to go back on that topic about you helping the community. I mean, that you said earlier, you're like a neighborhood restaurant. So basically, you're like a good neighbor for everybody in the community there. You help out so much. So how did that even pique your interest to help out the community back in the day?
Well, I started, that's something interesting. I worked 20 years for Mama Ninfa, Lorenzo, She's
Yes.
a big lady, she passed away and everything, but I worked for her 20 years. So
Wow.
she was big in
Okay.
community, is what I remember. Besides, producing a great product, and all that, and running a good place, she also gave back to the community. So she
Yeah.
had that charismatic thing. So I guess it rubbed off on me a little bit. And when I found out there was a need for our elderly here in our county,
Mhm.
and we said, when I was here 5 years, it was a Cinco de Mayo coming in, and I said, let's do a big party here, let's do something big for our 5-year anniversary, but let's choose a cause. And that's why I started. I found out that there was a waiting list for our seniors, and they were going hungry right in our county.
Mhm.
So that's what I started to do it,
Yeah. Well, it's always good to hear that somebody in the community is helping out and you're helping out the elders. So we really do want to thank you for that and being such a big part of the Fort Bend community, and not only Fort Bend, but maybe the Houston community. So and
we all connected here, the
Yeah.
communities. And part of the thing is that our brand is not just great product, it's not just a great product, great service. We have managed to include part of our brand giving back, so it's instilled in our concept here, the giving back
of
to
course.
our community. So in return, the community is back too,
Yeah. In a sense, if
they
you
bless us, and with coming back, after so many challenges, COVID, constructions, oh my God. I mean, that they continue helping us out. So
yeah, of course. And
glad that we can serve them. And we are very blessed to live in this county. Fort Bend County is a very generous county. It's community driven. And that's one of the things I love about here. And so we fit right in,
Yeah. And I also wanted to tell you about, well, actually not tell you, but I wanted to ask, about your restaurant and tell us basically, because we're getting here to the end of the segment. Just want to get some information out about your restaurant. So tell us anything you want to tell us, location, that way people can go out there and visit you.
And we're on 359 Richmond, Pecan Grove area. It's, that's where we are. And we love to cater. That's one thing we really love to cater. We love to go Houston. We got wheels. We travel. So we got wheels. We can take food anywhere. Downtown Houston, Medical Center, Sugarland, the whole area. We go anywhere. And we got some super good deals on our catering. We have done many, all the way from 20 people all the way to 1,000 people, so we can handle that. So we love to cater. That's one of the things. And we got a great Cocina Ritas. Those are house top shelf.
Wow.
And they're very affordable, $7.99, and man, they are good.
All right, well, thank you so much, Andres Novoa. He is the owner and founder of La Cocina Mexican Restaurant in Fort Bend County. We'll have all of your info on our post after the show. So thank you so much for being here.
Yes, sir. Okay. Pleasure to be with you guys. Okay, Mr. Benjamin?
Yeah, of course.
Keep up with the good work. You're doing good work too. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Doing segments, informing people. The art is interesting. What the lady was saying about the art and all that, and it's just amazing. There's so many interesting things happening in our community.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, thank you so much. Coming up next, we have a quick commercial break, and then Todd and I will return for some news and announcements.
When I grow up, I want to work at a school so I can be a teacher.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Welcome back to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis, and before we wrap up today's show, we've got a few announcements. One of them, balloon burnouts. Student life gets fit with balloons. Yeah, that's happening. From balloon-powered spirits. I don't think we do that here at HCC. Balloon-powered sprints and jumps to balloon resistance exercises. This event will push your limits and defy gravity with balloons flying high. And here you go, spirits soaring. You'll feel like you're oh, come on, who wrote this? You'll feel like you're on cloud 9 as you soar through this fitness frenzy. Oh my, 2 to 3 p.m. Tuesday, July 16th. That's today. Check it out. It's HCC's Eastside Student Life Center. For more information on the balloon workouts, check our post after the show. And we've got a Battle of the Bands coming up.
Yes, the prestigious HBCU marching bands will soon gather for the 2024 National Battle of the Bands High School Band Camp. Special guest for the event will be Danielle Stamper, TSU dance director for the famous Motion of the Ocean. As band camp dance coach, she and others will offer clinics to provide high school students valuable instruction on music and arts. This will take place Friday, July 17th through the 19th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the HCC North Forest campus. For more info, check out our post after the show.
Motion of the ocean. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's the quote of the day. Put that on Reels. All right. Medicare Awards, Medicare Awareness. It's a free series. Since those of you who become eligible for Medicare have important decisions to make, United Healthcare is offering a free series in English and Vietnamese. The organization says it's their mission to help people live healthier lives and make the healthcare system work for everyone. 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. next Wednesday, July 24th at the A-Leaf Bissonnette, A-Leaf Hayes, and Katy campuses, and also the HCC Spring Branch campus as well. We are running out of time, Benji. Real quickly, we want to mention registration for the fall is open now, folks. Don't wait till the last minute. Get the classes you want, the times you want. You can take online, hybrid, or in-person classes. Go to hccs.edu/apply. Okay, tomorrow is Good Works Wednesday, when we'll have the latest on what's going on at HCC. Benji will be here next week. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. He'll be here next week, we're thinking. Yeah, if he makes it in. You know, I was going to go in the studio this morning and do the show live.
Well, that's why I was kind of late, because I thought we were in the studio and I was like,
yeah,
oh.
I thought so too, but I don't think anybody told the director, not the director that's here, but the in-studio director. I don't think anybody told him. I saw him wandering around, so we'll have to make sure he knows that we'll be in the studio tomorrow. But Benji, he'll be back next week. Benji, have a good week. We'll see you next week, and I'll see all of you tomorrow morning live at 10 a.m. on Up to the Minute.